Okay, today's story is called Tam's Journey, and this is the first part of a trilogy. It's called The Beginning. It's by Amanda Peddle. This is Tam. Tam lives with his mum in a small house on the edge of a huge forest. He likes to play, read, draw, and spend time with his friends. But Tam has a problem. He gets very cross very easily. And then he sometimes reacts in ways that he doesn't understand. He makes his friends sad, he makes his mum sad, and most of all, he ends up feeling sad as well. Tam often feels upset because he is a kind and loving boy. He just gets very, very cross and very sad. One day, after Tam had been particularly cross, Tam's mother sent him outside and firmly said to him, "Tam, you need to go for a walk and calm down." Tam was very frustrated and felt crosser than ever because he knew that he needed to calm down. However, no one had ever explained to him how he could do it. Not being able to calm down made Tam even more sad and even crosser, and most of all, he was very annoyed with himself. It did not feel nice at all. Tam ran into the woods, muttering as he did about these amazing people who could just calm down whenever they felt like it. Tam was so busy muttering to himself and trying to make sense of his busy-wizzy brain that he didn't see where he was going. Bam! Tam ran straight into a tree. He bumped his head and fell down to the ground. The tree shook and some nuts fell around him. Tam knew these nuts were called almonds, as his mother sometimes collected them to have as treats. As Tam sat recovering from his bumped head, he suddenly heard a rustling above him. He looked up curiously, only to find a very strange creature peering right back at him through the branches. After a few moments, the creature spoke. "Who is that disturbing my nap?" "Sorry," replied a very surprised Tam. "I was so very cross that I wasn't looking where I was going." "Wait there," said the creature. "I'll come down." Tam waited and waited some more and waited even longer. Just as Tam was about to leave, a furry leg appeared with long claws, followed by another, and then a strange body with long arms and a tiny head with sparkly brown eyes. Now it made sense to Tam. He had heard his grandfather talk of these creatures. They were called sloths and were extremely wise and intelligent, but they were very, very slow. "Hello there," said the sloth. "My name is Parshiet, but you can call me Hetty. What's your name?" "Nice to meet you, Hetty. My name is Tam. I'm really sorry I disturbed your nap. I was just so very cross," said Tam. "That's okay, but what has made you so cross, Tam?" Hetty replied. Tam thought for a moment and then he very quietly and sadly muttered, "I don't actually know." By now, Hetty had reached where Tam was sitting and was watching him very closely. A big tear rolled down Tam's face. He knew he was a long way from home because the sloths didn't live near his house. "Ah, now, young Tam," Hetty said softly, "do not worry. Lots of children get cross without understanding why. Would you like me to explain to you one of the reasons that we behave in these ways?" Tam was surprised. No one had ever offered to explain to him why he got so very cross. "Will it help me be able to calm down?" Tam replied, wiping the tear from his cheek. "Well," said Hetty, "I believe if you know what is happening, then it might help just a little." Hetty slowly moved to pick up a stick and began to draw on the ground. Tam watched curiously as the shape of a person appeared, first a head, then arms, and then legs, a beard, and some funny type of clothing. "This," said Hetty, "is a caveman. It's a very early version of what you are today, only this version lived many, many millions of years ago. Now, watch." Hetty drew an oval shape next to her caveman picture. She then stretched out her long arm to pick up one of the almond cases that had fallen under the tree and cracked the shell. A small knobbly nut fell out. This nut is about the same size as a very important part of the brain that cavemen used millions of years ago. And one of its jobs was to sense danger. Its name is the amygdala. Hetty leaned forward and placed the nut in the middle of the oval. Tam was fascinated. He couldn't believe that such a small thing could be so important. So, Tam said, was the caveman very good at keeping out of trouble? Well, Hetty replied, his brain wasn't as busy as yours is nowadays. He didn't have as many things to worry about or think about. He just reacted when he needed to, when it was an emergency. Hetty looked at Tam and smiled reassuringly. Tam, your brain works in the same way. If you were in real danger, your brain would send all the right messages to all the right parts of your body using your senses, and it would keep yourself safe. Do you know what your 5 senses are, Tam? Hetty then asked. Tam did indeed know. He had learned about senses in school. Yes, I do, he said confidently. They are sight, sound, taste, smell, and touch. Tam smiled. He didn't know why, but the way Hetty spoke to him made him feel calm and safe. Well done, Tam, said Hetty with a big smile. You are very clever. The caveman's brain had a very important job to do, and your brain also has the same. Whenever the caveman was in danger, his senses would send messages to the brain to warn it. Once the senses told this part of the brain that there was danger, said Hetty, the amygdala, part of the brain, sent a very quick message to the rest of the body to make itself safe. The body was given everything that it needed to either run away from the danger or to attack and defend itself. We call this fight or flight. Sometimes the body didn't know what to do, so instead it stood completely still. We call that freeze. By having this emergency system, the caveman had a better chance of survival, said Hetty with a smile. Tam looked in wonder at the shapes in the sand. That, he said, is amazing. Very, very cool. Yes, it is, said Hattie, but it can also cause you to feel things strongly. Nowadays, your brain works too hard. People have lots and lots of thoughts and feelings, fears, worries, joy, and happiness. The clever part of your brain, the amygdala, gets a little muddled. It will do its job to keep you safe, but sometimes this happens. Hetty picked up her stick and drew another person. This time she drew lots and lots of arrows pointing at the head and lots of squiggly lines around the brain. Imagine that the arrows are all the things you're thinking about, and the squiggles are all the messages racing around your brain. Now, say someone was mean to you and it felt very, very bad. The message would race to the brain, but the brain is very, very busy. So it thinks that the body is under attack. Your body will try to keep you safe. Wow, said Tam. Is that like when I ran and ran when I got very, very cross? Exactly, said Hetty. Some people might call that a flight response. But Tam, were you really in any danger? Asked Hetty kindly. Tam thought for a moment. No, not really at all. I just felt so bad for feeling so awful. Tam, your feelings are normal, but everyone spends a lot of time trying very hard not to feel in case it's uncomfortable. But it's really just your body doing its job. Understanding what your body is doing is the first part of a journey that will help you grow and be a stronger person. Hetty's voice was calm and comforting. As Tam remembered this morning's events, he started to feel very sad. Hattie sat next to him and gently nudged his arm. So don't be sad about it. It's natural. Why don't you draw your own caveman at home and list the worries that you have the most feelings about? Then you might be able to see what some of the things are that cause you to react. Then come and see me again and we can talk some more if you'd like. Maybe next time we can look at how the reactions show in your body." "I would love to do that, Hetty," Tam said cheerfully. "Thank you so much for starting to explain what happens to me when I have strong feelings and react. I don't feel as sad now knowing that it is so very clever and so very normal." Tam smiled. He felt perfectly relaxed and happy and was already looking forward to learning more about his brain and body.